Your name and town to the One Africa TV's WhatsApp on 081 200 6659 or send an SMS to 555. One Africa TV. It just gets better. Today on One Always There. Today on One, your daily dose of local affairs and social media commentary. Today on One, President addresses nation on COVID-19 national response measures. Our demo is legal, says Zimbabwean protesters. Support pours in for Tualoloka victims. And NUST ready to reopen, says Ita Kanji Murangi.
Namibia has so far recorded over 2,000 COVID-19 confirmed cases with 10 related deaths. The epicenter of the pandemic remains Wolfish Bay, but the increase in cases in Windhoek is leading government to suspect community transmission in the Khomas region. At a press conference at State House, President Hage Geingob announced that the lockdown measures that are in place at several towns in the Erongo region that are expected to lapse this coming Monday night will remain in place, considering that 95% of COVID-19 recorded cases are from Erongo region.
I hereby inform the nation that the Erongo region and the special dispensation for the local authority areas of Walvis Bay, Swakopmund and Arandes will remain unchanged and is hereby extended from Tuesday, 4th of August until midnight on Monday, 31st August 2020. Country response. The other 13 regions of the country will remain under stage 4 level of restriction of the following revised measures to curb the spread of disease. Public gatherings are reduced from 250 to 100 persons. The sale of alcohol is to remain on takeaway basis and for consumption in private dwellings only.
With regards to education, President Geingob said that face-to-face teaching for early childhood is suspended. As for grade 10 to 12, that will be permitted.
The face-to-face mode of instruction is suspended for early childhood development, primary and grades 1 to 9. It was our aim to open it, but after consulting and listening to people, we are now suspending that. Across the country from the 4th of August 2020 for 28 days. Grades 10, 11 and 12 will be permitted to continue with face-to-face instruction. These difficult decisions were arrived at in consideration of the vulnerability and risks associated with the spread of disease. And small ones will be difficult to control.
Minister of Health and Social Services Kalumbi Shangula reiterated on his message that these are the new realities. He also said that Namibia should expect an increase in the number of recoveries. Therefore, they will reduce the quarantine period from 2 weeks to just 7 days.
A decision was taken to bring changes in our policies on quarantine and isolation for people suspected or found to be infected with the coronavirus. The science is now clear. There is no evidence of risks that somebody can infect another person with the virus after 10 days of infection if their symptoms have gone away. The duration of quarantine is reduced from 14 days to 7 days in approved facilities. All to be tested at the end of the quarantine on day 7 and released on negative PCR test.
Shangula also said that as for the 7-day quarantine period, this will also apply to foreign travelers as long as they arrive with a negative test. Kengo further urged Namibians to avoid unnecessary travels. Reporting for Today on One, I'm Joseph Shifeni.
Chaos almost erupted at the Zimbabwean embassy as Zimbabwean nationals living in Namibia were dispersed by the Namibian police force after they were demonstrating against corruption, looters, abduction and killings in their native country, Zimbabwe.
We have a letter of which it's only by coincidence that Dr. Daniel delayed to come, which we can prove that our demo is legally authorized. We are not hooligans. We are not people who do not abide by the law.
According to the Khomas Regional Commander Joseph Shikongo, the demonstration that was scheduled to take place at the Zimbabwean embassy today was not approved by the NAMPOL officials, as the letter written to them was received at a short notice.
It is very clear that there will be no demonstration today. I explained why this demonstration should not take place.
Unfortunately, it was not officially communicated to us.
If it was not communicated, so my order is that go wherever you go, you write a proper letter. We should approve it.
Does it mean the letter that we wrote was not proper, Commissioner?
We have not. We as Namibian authority, we have not approved that.
We have a clearance with
where's your approval letter?
It's with Dr. Daniel.
Can you call Dr. Daniel to bring the letter? The approval letter. Can I have it? Because if you don't have it, and in fact the condition from the police, where are they?
Does Commissioner, with due respect, does it mean if it's not available right now and it's with Dr. Daniel, does it mean that nullifies a written document from the authority authorizing us to go ahead with
which authority? Which authority?
I'm still talking to your senior.
I'm asking which authority? Which authority does authorize you to demonstrate? From which office?
We are legal abiding people.
I'm asking from which office? Because look here, the people that are moving there, I provide them police escort, and these are the Nganza users. We give them authority, we give them conditions, and we have got the police that is escorting them to go up to where they are going to hand over the letter. And this is what I explained earlier. I engaged Dr. Daniel, I engaged everybody. We spent almost about 3 hours in my house, just try to waste my time, explain to them properly. And I told them this demonstration of today is not on.
Nationwide anti-government demonstrations were scheduled across Zimbabwe today.
The main purpose was to say no to corruption. The second is we are worried about the abductions of civilians, abductions of journalists in Zimbabwe, abductions of innocent people who speak out against the corrupt regime of Emmerson Mnangagwa. And we must make it clear that they say in Chinese culture, the fish rots from the head, starting from the head. Therefore, Mnangagwa is rotten and the whole system now is rotten. They must leave and pave way to people who are willing to articulate for the democracy of the people, for the good governance of the people. That country that does not belong to a mother of anybody. That country is all we have, and that is our country. And we belong there. We are not here by choice. They must
and we are even sick and tired of staying here. We don't
are not here by choice.
Be home.
We want to be home. It's not a secret. People are being killed daylight in Zimbabwe, broad daylight. Abductions are taking place broad daylight. And should we fold our hands and listen to that and say it's fine? We are not here by choice. We want to be in our land. We want to go back to our land.
The protesters who have gathered in front of the Zimbabwean embassy were later dispersed by law enforcement.
Make no mistake, we're in a fight to protect everything that matters to us, to grab lost time, to celebrate the big days, the everyday. It's a fight to win back our world, so let's fight it together. The way we have for generations, let's practice healthy habits, because this is a fight that together we will win. Dettol, protect what's worth fighting for.
Namibia Breweries provided temporary shelter relief in the form of 450 tents to the Otweya residents that lost their shelters in the Twaloloka fire last Sunday. The tents were handed over to the Walvis Bay municipality and Walvis Bay Roundtable 36. 15 of the tents are allocated to employees of Old Harbour and Lease Group subsidiaries, Pick n Pay Namibia and Hangana Seafood, who lost their homes and belongings. The donation was received by Walvis Bay Mayor Wilfred Emmanuel, who praised the company for the gesture.
Some of these events have brought out the worst in some people, but also the best in most people. We are exceptionally thankful for all the goodwill that Namibians have shown the last couple of days. There have been donations from people all across the Namibian society who have realized that we are far stronger together than divided. They represent the majority of the people who will not be discounted by those who wanted to delay our good efforts.
Delivering a message on behalf of the Managing Director of Namibia Breweries Limited, Peter Zerber, said there was a reason for hope in this uncertain time, that humanity can overcome difficult times like the Twaloloka tragedy. The company also pledged 50,000 worth of aqua splash water for distribution by the Roundtable 36.
The new All Seasons Moisture Body Lotion from Nivea Men. For 0% stickiness no matter how hot you are, and 100% moisture no matter how cool you are. Get deeply nourished, healthier looking skin. New Nivea Men All Seasons. 0% stickiness, 100% moisture. Nivea Men, it starts with you. Nivea Men All Seasons. Now available in a cream.
The Minister of Higher Education, Training and Innovation is happy to announce that the Namibia University of Science and Technology will be resuming face-to-face lessons in August. NUST has put in place the necessary COVID-19 preventative measures to avoid the spread of the pandemic on campus. Minister of Higher Education, Training and Innovation Ita Kanji Murangi said that the COVID-19 has disrupted all the educational streams in Namibia.
The developing world has seen, as the result of COVID-19, a severe disruption to her national academic calendars of the education system. All the different streams of education in the country have had to face and deal with these disruptions. I'm referring here to, for example, our early childhood education, the primary and secondary schools stream, technical and vocational education stream, and indeed higher education itself. These streams are all now forced into a mode that I will call catching up. We are yet as government to be informed by the leadership of these streams, that is, what is salvageable and what is not.
Kanji Murangi added that there will be a committee set up to regulate the way forward after COVID-19 has ended.
The two ministries of education will announce members of this important group, which among many things will look into progression between the streams, taking into consideration the impact of COVID-19. Whatever proposals this committee or technical committee present to us, the two ministers of education, we will then of course present it to Cabinet. For example, one of the things that is critical and topical in our ministries is, for example, the issue of progression from the terminal year at senior secondary school moving to the first years at NAST, at UNAM, or at any other higher education institution, including our TVET institutions. What should be the criteria to be used? But I see here that in your case, you are saying it is imperative that we adhere to the number of teaching weeks that we have mapped out as the key foundations, to lay the foundations of the necessary education for our kids before they move on to the next level.
The Landless People's Movement LPM Student Command Element leader Duminga Dala said that NAST was supposed to be the leading institution with e-learning but failed to be the example.
In regards to NAST, they basically show that they as the University of Science and Technology, is rather not a University of Science and Technology, because first and foremost they have failed actually to produce sanitizers or any other medicine or material that would help to keep the virus. So in regards to them resuming the face-to-face lessons, I think it's rather very, very worrisome, because as we all know that the NAST classes are also very much congested. So we are wondering how they are going to practice social distancing. Even so, I think the NAST management should give the learners options to decide if they are going to continue with their studies or not. And even so, I think they should intensify their e-learning platform so that these learners or students actually have the opportunity either to go for face-to-face classes or rather have their studies on a full-time level on e-learning. Yes.
NAST is reopening for students that were unable to continue with their studies due to the challenges faced by e-learning.
Share with us on #LearnOn1. Tell us what you're learning and where you're learning it from. Send us your name and town to the One Africa TV's WhatsApp on 081 200 6659 or send an SMS to 555. One Africa TV. It just gets better. In other leading stories, Namibia has seen an unprecedented spike in the number of new COVID-19 cases over the last 3 months, signaling that the worst economic effects of the pandemic are yet to come. This is according to Frans Usiku, market researcher manager at FNB Namibia. This economic weakness is reflected in FNB's latest FNB Rental Index, which shows a 12-month average growth of 0.3% year-on-year at the end of June 2020, following the short-lived growth momentum of 0.9% and 0.8% year-on-year seen in April and May 2020 respectively. While the rental index growth of 0.3% may seem robust by annual comparison, recorded at minus 3.1% in June 2019, the national rent price is the lowest recorded in 5 years over the corresponding periods. Walvis Bay saw the biggest contraction in rent prices, followed by Ondangwa, Rundu, Oshakati, Ongwediva and Windhoek. The biggest gainers were Katima Mulilo with 10.0% year-on-year growth in rent prices, followed by Okahanja and Swakopmund. The halt in normal rental activity by about 49% witnessed over the second quarter was foreseeable as COVID-19 related job losses had a direct material impact on the rental market. Usiku says looking ahead, the impact of COVID-19 on rent prices should further be seen through two lenses. Firstly, how soon the COVID-19 cure is found, and secondly, how quickly the economy is able to recover. Adding that in the event of a more drawn-out economic recovery, which is very likely, Usiku says there may be a slowdown in new household formation and a shift towards a multi-family renting culture to save on housing costs. These dynamics could also mean that competition will remain tight for rental units at the middle and lower ends of the market, while luxury vacancies may become harder to fill. Furthermore, as the culture of remote work gains traction, Namibia could also start to see a switch in residential preference away from inner-city locations towards more affordable suburbs.
Welcome to Comments Corner, your daily dose of local comments from the hottest social media pages. The Namibian nation has reached out to the victims of the devastating fire that ravaged through the Tjololoka informal settlement at Walvis Bay. Massive support has been pouring in for the victims, who expressed their gratitude towards the Namibian nation at large. Guvishita thanked government and other groups for the assistance, but said the people now need affordable houses. Yvonne sympathized with the person concerned with the reopening of schools, stating that as much as kids miss school, they don't want to repeat another year. Tashia said as much as they celebrate the president's kind gesture, someone lost a child and they still do not have a place to call home. Emmanuel said no one should dictate to others whom they can express appreciation, as some refuse to praise the president and blame him for every wrong thing. Jonas said it was not only government and big organizations that contributed, but individuals as well. A farm manager at New Dam was approached by members of the Landless People's Movement, who accused him of giving the go-ahead for evictions to take place without prior notice or reasoning. The manager was followed to his doorstep, and after a brief altercation, he went inside and returned with a shotgun, threatening to shoot anyone that enters his residence. Mushari said this is unacceptable, as the people have lived there for generations. He added that they should have found them a decent house first. Lucas said this is not good, especially during this time of the pandemic. Plomi said that this is heartless, and why are they only targeting mothers, the elderly and young children? While Patrick said this is absolutely wrong. And that is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day only on Today and One.
We always love to hear from you. Send us your views, comments and videos with your name and town to the One Africa TV's WhatsApp on 081 200 6659 or send an SMS to 555. One Africa TV, it just gets better.
to me. You said you love me.
Hello Namibia, my name is Adora and welcome to a brand new edition of the cool new show called The Entlekavab.
Have you ever, basically it's a story of a girl that, you know, that was going through a heartbreak situation. With me, in my life, there's always those, like, 5 minutes later when you're like, oh, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not supposed to do that.
Hola Namibia, this is your boy Kuli Sant. Don't forget to watch the Entlekavab TV show.
Oh dear Johnny, you cause me confusion. I'm going, I'm staying.
A look at the weather forecast. First, an advisory from the Windhoek Met Office. East wind conditions will persist over the Namib and coastal areas this weekend, so please do take the necessary precautions. The Namibia interior is sunny and warm but hot in the north. The coast sunny and hot to very hot with sandstorms, and the wind fresh to strong easterly. Now we'll look at minimum and maximum temperatures across the country and beyond.
I still remember it all. Your eyes, your walk, your love, the way you talk. Something about you, how you spoke to me. Daring, inviting, irresistible. But nobody likes you. Nobody likes you. They think I'm a fool for seeing what I see. Fireman, my baby. You got the juice, you got the sauce. You are the juice, you are the sauce. My
with trusted quality and great value on